Yes. Yes. Welcome, folks. So glad to have you here today. And Marie, my audio is on, so you're not going to fool me by saying audio. Nick is here. Nick gets extra credit because he's shown up live for the class. That's good. Tommy's here. Tommy, I expected you to come down here and be live on the show today. You got to make the trip. Pay no attention to the crinkling of candy wrappers in the background. Or the editorial comments in the form of coughs. It's been quite an adventure this week having a visitor here in the studio, and round and about. I hope you got to see some of the posts on Facebook. We do have two guests in the studio today. Neither one of them are local, so we'll give you some kind of hints. As if, who is it? News Fan 77. Bring on the Tim. Enough of this idle chit chat. Oh, that's too funny.
Do y'all know where the upholstery place is?
Yeah, there we go. We did have a visitor this morning. Otis is in Texas saying hello. We're glad you're here. News Fan 77. We got you covered. Yes, indeed. Marie says, yes, there is audio. Very good. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're having a great day. We visited the school on yesterday morning, and we will actually be back at the school tomorrow afternoon. Tim, I didn't tell you, but we have a visit to a local church tomorrow to see how they're using vMix there. That's going to be fun. And then anybody that's in the neighborhood wants to drop in on an informal meetup tomorrow. Tim, you weren't in on this either. I hope you don't have plans for dinner. But we're going to have a meetup at the Uptown Ruby Tuesdays.
Oh.
Yeah. We're pulling out all the stops here.
I don't think I've ever been to a Ruby Tuesday, so...
Really?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
It's always a time first, right?
Well, it's kind of like the Fridays, except it's earlier in the week. So Dave is here from WSN West. Michael from Dunellen.
Got to work out how to share this.
Chris says, Tom, did you just wake up or allergies? Well, Chris, I don't have allergies, and I didn't just wake up. I do sound a little crinkly, though. I get that. Stuart Video, welcome. Marie says, do we get subtitles on the stream today with all them furriers on the stream? Is that something you understand?
I have no idea what that is.
I have no idea. Okay. Yeah, we had a late night bowling. That's what it was. Yeah, there we go. That's right. We did not go to Waffle House. We have resisted the urge so far to go to Waffle House.
I've already been about 5 times, so that's all right.
But yeah, we've got just kind of a double, triple whammy today. I mean, we've got one guest, we've got another guest, and we have the release of vMix 23 as a beta for public testing. I guess you would say last night. I hope you will download it and take a look at it. And yes, you can revert back to vMix 22 or any previous version that you've had without any difficulties. So yeah. Dan says, I think she meant furriners. Don't know what that is. Uh-oh. And Tim is now watching us live, but on 45-second delay. Stuart Video said he just met you at NAB New York, so he's delighted.
I did meet Stuart, yes. Absolutely. Stuart Rivera, is that his name?
Yes.
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 Did indeed meet Stuart.
Oh, Marie says the word was for foreigners.
Oh.
Did I say foreigners? Yeah, I probably did. I probably should have said folks not from around here. Yeah. Oh, Maggie says, why are you ignoring me, Mr. Sinclair? I am not ignoring you, at least on purpose. You're very difficult to ignore. Dave says Tom is a bit slow. Okay, that's right. Beat up on the idiot. That's gang up on the idiot. I got it. Yeah, we're going to take a look at some vMix 23 stuff today. It's going to be fun. And yeah. Well, the clock is in the green, Tim, and you know what that means?
Nope.
That means that it's time to start the show.
Well, I posted to Facebook, so we'll see if we get anybody else to join in to the show. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, it would be disappointing to have a show and not have anybody show up.
You need to have just let everybody know that my knees are showing in this video, so it's a bit of a warning to everybody out there.
You've been warned. There you go. If you can't handle the intense pressure of this event, you probably need to be examined by a physician. Yeah. All right. And we had intended to have a petrol report today, but we weren't able to. We weren't able to put that in.
Friday afternoon petrol prices.
Oh, Friday afternoon. Okay, got it. So tune in to the Friday afternoon. No, Friday morning.
Friday Arvo petrol prices. It's Friday afternoon. It's like usually 4 o'clock on Friday afternoons. Usually when I do it. So that's like
What he said. There you
early
go.
Friday morning.
I thought that was going to be part of the Friday show that you were going to be on.
No, that's something separate.
That's something separate. All right, well, we got to remember to say that. All right, well, is Tim running the show? Well, he thinks he is. This guy comes in and he wants to take over everything.
I want to do it right, guys. I want to
Gee
do it right.
whiz.
None of this business.
He wants to change the name of the show. From Streaming Idiots to Streaming Tim. It's amazing. You know, you give the guy an inch. Okay. Anthony's here from Ireland. Is Tim running the show? Well, we can get rid of that one from here. There you go. That's the problem with giving people access to your secret stuff. All right. But seriously, the clock has ticked down to 0, and it's time for us to go. So is Tim on a microphone? He will be. He will be. He is remotely away from a microphone right now. Tim is running the show. There we go. Okay, we got that. We can get rid of that one. All right, Streaming Dorks. Yeah, Tim could use that as a name. Let's Tim, what's a good way for me to meander over there? Why don't I make you live and then I'll join you? How about that?
Do you have an intro video? I want to hear that music.
Oh yeah, we'll do that.
You got time to get over here, right?
Yeah, but I don't.
Seamless transition between the two.
I don't know if the music will actually play for us.
It's fine.
It's okay with you if it doesn't.
Perfectly fine. I'll have it playing in my head. So.
Okay. All right. Well, here we go, folks. Get ready for this. This is going to be awesome. Welcome. I'm Tom Sinclair.
And I'm Tim.
Yes, he got the cue. I love
Yes.
it. I love it. Welcome, Streaming Idiots. So delighted to have you with us today. We need to get that lower third.
One thing I didn't look at is this this shirt comes up on the green screen pretty poorly. So it looks like my shirt is
fading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I've got an extra shirt over here if you'd like to change.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay for now. As long as people can handle it, it's all good.
Well, we're delighted that you guys have stopped by today. Streaming Idiots, if you're just joining us for the first time, you've kind of caught us in an odd moment. Delighted to have Tim in the studio today. He's come all the way from Australia. Well, actually, he's come from New York. Well, actually, he's come from Australia to New York to Atlanta to Alabama.
To Mobile, Alabama.
He keeps making his way south. And it's been a real treat. He's been with us all week. We had a great visit. I should have put some of those pictures up. We had a great visit at the local school yesterday, and Tim was able to talk with a lot of the kids about how they were using vMix, and and about kangaroos and koalas and other things.
All the important stuff, really.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow we'll visit a local church and see how they're using vMix. And then
I came here just to do nothing, and now I've got a list of I've got a massive itinerary of things that I have to do. So.
Well, I didn't want you to get bored.
Oh no,
And then Friday night we're going to go to the high school and watch them use vMix to live stream the football game.
Right. Okay.
So
We're doing the rounds.
The poor guy,
Fairhope seems huge. There's so much stuff going on here. It's out of control. So
it is. It's a.
You try and get to as much as you can, but there's just too much stuff to see.
It's a vMix haven.
Sure.
You know what? I got to fix something. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yep. I moved this the other day, and I need to move it back.
Oh.
There we go.
I think the camera's gone a little bit fuzzy too.
Yep. That's me. Sorry about this. This is a
professional live streaming.
That's right.
This is what it is. People always ask me, it's like, how do you do a professional live stream? And the answer is this right here. Professionalism. At its best.
Yep. And we also have Dan with us. Dan made the trip back from Amsterdam to Alabama, and we're delighted that he's going to be on loan, like you would loan artwork to a museum. Dan's going to be on loan here in the Eastern Shore Broadcasting Studios for an undetermined amount of time. In addition to having Tim and Dan here, we also had vMix 23. Martin and Tim released vMix 23 in beta form last night. If you haven't downloaded it, you can get it. You can't get it off the website per se.
Not per se, no. You have to go to a subdomain of a website called forums.vmix.com. So that's where it lies.
And it's forums plural.
Mm-hmm. Because there's more than one forum.
But if you went to forum.vmix.com, where would you go?
I don't know. I don't know where that redirects to.
Huh.
Probably to professionalvlogger.com. Mark that up. You got to get as many of these in as you can so people know about it. I'll get the rest of them in, don't worry.
Okay.
They'll come up organically, trust me. I'll be able to get the rest of my websites in as we go along.
Well, we're counting on that. We are indeed.
Again, I had to apologize. I have to jump in. You can see my knees, so Tom was a little bit worried, especially down here, down south, about showing my knees on the live stream. I know that you're not allowed to wear. You have to wear everything below the knees. That's one of the laws down here. If you don't wear stuff below, if your knees are showing, you have to get caned or stoned out in the public square or something like that. So apologies for seeing my knees. So for anybody that's not watching in Alabama, you're fine. But for those that are watching down here, apologies, and I hope I don't get you banned from YouTube or something.
Obviously, Tim is feeling very comfortable here with us in the studios today.
Is this not what we're supposed to be like? Is it? I didn't quite know what exactly I was supposed to be.
I think that third pack of M&Ms has done you
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. So far, I'm I haven't eaten a great deal today, except for a thing from the petrol station and some M&Ms. So could get exciting. That's all we've got to say.
So, Chris, glad the link worked. It's forums.vmix.com, and then there's a section there in the general forum on the vMix 23 preview is what they're calling it, the vMix 23 preview that's been released. And since it was released last night, there's already been an update to that.
Yeah.
So we're up to 23.0.0.
19, I think.
19. Yeah.
And there's more bugs coming through. It's just the nature of it. This one specifically, because there's a lot of like high-end sort of features with a lot of things that can technically go wrong. There's been a bunch of bug reports and stuff already. So that's just how it is. That's the nature of the beta, or nature of the beta would sound better, but I'm going to say beta. The whole point with that, the Facebook pictures and all that stuff, there was bees in it, right? Bees for beta, right? And then Martin on the show last night, he starts calling it a beta. And I'm sitting there going, dude, what are you doing?
He lost the whole vibe.
He dead set lost the plot. So it's just how there were bees in the studio. Like, you don't call them bays, they're bees. There was bees in the studio, and then he goes, now it's time to talk about the beta. So I don't know what happened. It's that pressure of, what it's like, the pressure of running the show by yourself.
Oh, and being live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's
harrowing
immense.
is the best word I can use to describe it. It's especially if you're used to having someone next to you doing, like, because let's face it, I do all of the producing, of the show.
Well, you're the secret to the success of vMix.
And then, and then Martin, doing it by yourself, like most of the stuff would have been transferred from 2 months ago, the last time we were in the studio.
Right.
So it would have been transferred from that, but he put in a new camera, and then kind of had to make sure that was all working, and then all these other videos and ridiculous sound effects that you may have seen. So that's it's just a bit of an interesting situation to try and put out a show by yourself. It's totally doable.
Yes.
But Well,
and the key is, as we were discussing earlier, the key is to keep the expectations really low.
yeah. That's the problem. But if people are anticipating something specifically on the show, like usually it's just us waffling on about nothing in particular. But when you've got a new version or new features or something else that people are excited about, or you've talked up, you kind of have to follow through and actually pull off a show that's in comparison to the news that you're delivering. So,
well, let's talk about a little news.
Okay.
So vMix 23, which you can get at forums.vmix.com in the general forum section.
/somethings.
Yeah, /
I don't know what
23
it is.
preview.
No idea.
Or something. But take a look at it, download it. If you don't like it, you can just reinstall your previous version right over top of it. There won't be a problem. Nothing's going to disappear. Everything's going to be safe. But there we go. No issue with Tim's knees. But the big feature, I think, the feature that a lot of people have really been looking forward to is SRT, Secure Reliable Transport. Now, if you say, what is SRT, then you probably don't need it. But for folks that have wanted this for a long time, Secure Reliable Transport is going to give you the ability to have a remote camera, remote like somewhere else in the world remote, come to you with a specific amount of latency. And that amount of latency will be long enough for some, it's really not error correction, but it would be similar to error correction. That is, if there are problems with the video in that extra latency, that fixed latency that you're giving it in Secure Reliable Transport, it's going to fix the frames that got skipped or dropped or missed or whatever if the internet hiccuped, so that when the video does arrive in your production, it's going to be as good as it possibly can, hence the secure and reliable portion of the transport. And so this is going to work not just in a vMix to vMix, a point-to-point situation, but any, I guess I'm going out on a limb here, Tim, correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm sure I will.
Yes, he won't hesitate to do that. Any generic SRT sender vMix can receive from, and almost any SRT receiver vMix can send to. I think we're finding a few hiccups here and there now that the beta's out there in the wild. And that means some adjustments have to be made for some older versions of SRT that may not be exactly compatible with vMix. So there's some workarounds they're working on with that. You can see those. Actually, if you go to the vMix forum, and you can follow the comments that people are making there about what's going on with different parts of the new vMix 23, and there's a lot of comments about vMix SRT right there. So for those of you that have wanted it, it's here. Please test it. Please test it. The only way for it to be as good as it can be is if people can run it through the ringer. And by all means, post your bug reports in that specific forum on the vMix forums for vMix 23 preview. Right?
Correct. That's where you want to go. So in order to improve something and to make it a release candidate, we need to have feedback. So, there's only so many computers and so many different ways that we can test things out without seeing it, in the wild. Somebody's doing something ridiculous or even normal that we just didn't think of to test.
Now, if somebody sends an email to bugs@vmix.com, what's going to happen to that?
I don't know whether there's a bugs@vmix.com email.
Yeah, but they should really go to the forum.
Correct.
To make their bug report.
Yeah. That way you can upload, images. There's plenty of screenshots in there already of people that have uploaded bugs or issues with the titling or SRT or something like that. And because like I was saying before, because SRT is, a technically complex sort of thing. it's hard for us to test every sort of iteration of how somebody would be using SRT. So
hence it's a beta.
Correct.
It's a beta.
Yeah, and people always ask us, like, how do I sign up to the beta program or the beta program? Like, where is it? What do I do it? But yeah, it's just on the forums. Like, it's
anybody.
We have a public beta that we find that, we're fairly transparent when it comes to stuff. Like, it's usually when we release a beta, it's going to be fairly reliable. Like, Martin did the show on it last night. We're currently doing the show on it right now. Fingers crossed that everything goes fine.
Not only are we doing the show on one PC with version 23, we're doing it on 2 PCs.
Well, and this one's connected too, so technically that's really 3. So yeah.
Wow.
So there you go.
That's a world's record right there.
That's right.
The most PCs to use vMix version 23 at one time on one broadcast.
Yeah, that we know of. So who's going to prove us wrong?
Yeah.
So it's a matter of testing it all out, and people have already reported stuff with issues that they might be having and things we didn't think of. So that's just how it is. It's the nature of public beta, and we just prefer to as many people as use it as possible, and obviously recommend that you don't use it in a live production scenario or situation, but people tend to ignore that, and that's their prerogative, right?
That's well, and it's at your peril because you're here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I'm just waiting for the smoke to start up over here. A little bit worried, but
well, as long as the comments keep coming in, we know it's still working.
Well, that's true, but I think half the people watching aren't really watching. They're just commenting to each other.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really understand any of these comments that have come through, and now I understand why you sit here and look completely baffled trying to read the comments, because it's completely unrelated to what
they're enjoying themselves,
what people are doing or watching.
Themselves. Yep.
But if you do, how's this for professional? If you do have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat, and we can bring them up at a later point in the show.
That's a great idea, Tim.
There you go.
If you're watching this on Facebook, especially in the Streaming Idiots group, we don't have access to your comments. So we'd love to have you come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com and click the Watch Live tab, and then you can get in on all the comments that we are seeing up here on the screen right now. Tim, if somebody has got an idea of a great tweak for vMix 23, sort of a feature request, what should they do with that? Should they send an email to featurerequests@vmix.com?
No. What you should actually do is send an email to tom@easternshorebroadcasting.com with the subject in all caps. I have a feature request for vMix that they have to add, or vMix is not good. That's the magic phrase that
I'm going to get 20 of those emails. You know that by saying that.
I hope you do.
So forward.
That would be my recommendation. If that doesn't work, which it should, but if that doesn't work, I would recommend just going to our forums. Again, forums.vmix.com, and there's a feature requests section. And so you've got the ability to add a new feature request. You can also search for some that have come up. Typically, the newer ones are going to be on the first few pages. So you could, if you don't want to search, you can kind of just have a look through those first couple of pages. See if there's something in there that you like. You can +1 those, and the more sort of traction the feature requests get, the more likely they are to be implemented if they're technically possible and seemingly worthwhile for a large number of people. If you've got something really specific, like you want a feature that helps you enhance your garden grow or something ridiculous just for you, it might not be as likely to be implemented. But if you have something that's useful and we go, oh wow, that's a really good idea, why didn't we think of that? Those are the kind of things that will get added to vMix. And as much as people don't think so, or I'm somewhat the gatekeeper of the feature requests, so if you ever really want to bug somebody, I'm the person to bug, not Martin. So I go through that list fairly frequently and have a big whiteboard of things to go over and look at for future development. So that's the place to go. Feature requests, forums.vmix.com.
And it's probably not a good idea to put a feature request in the beta forum right now, because that's just for comments and for bug reports. So there you go.
John just said that he brought nuts today, all capitals, so he's very excited about that.
That's awesome.
To be honest, John, is it? I always get it wrong. It's Yon, isn't it? Technically, Yon.
Well, it's got a little.
Jean?
It's got a little something in there, yeah.
That's about as good as I can do it. I expected lemonade and nuts and everything. There's nothing here, guys. Don't try and get on the show thinking that there's going to be a big spread. Nothing here. So.
I've got some dum-dums over there if you like.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
No,
there
so,
we go.
I'm good for that.
So, other things in vMix 23.
Yep.
NDI 4.0
Yep.
is there.
Mm-hmm.
And that ties into the multi-quarter. So if you've got vMix 4K or vMix Pro and you're using multi-quarter, you're going to like that because you're going to get a .mov multi-quarter with very little impact on CPU. So
I'm not
it's
quite sure
almost
how
like-
that works, so let's move on to the next.
Yeah, well, we're not going to demonstrate all of this. We can just talk about some of it. Yeah. Tim was demonstrating some of those things
My makeup nearly wore off.
today, and I was just, wow, I can't believe how that works. That is so awesome. You've probably heard forever and ever and ever that now vMix has 5 audio buses,
Yes.
but there's a twist to that. And the twist is that now those buses can be routed and grouped. Well, of course they can be routed. They've always been able to be routed, but now they can be grouped. So you could send 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 audio inputs to the C bus, for example.
Mhm.
And then the C bus could have a master. It's not really a master control, but a group control.
Feel free to chuck up this and I can show
Chuck up this.
the desktop capture and I can show them
Yeah,
exactly
let's
what you're
see.
talking about.
Is that going to do that? There we go.
Oh, there we go. So
With
this
a
is my laptop.
shortcut that does that.
This is this is my laptop here. So what Tom is discussing here is I've added some additional buses here. As you can see, I've added A, B, and E for some reason. This laptop was from NAB New York, I think. So we set up E. So as you can see now, underneath the A, B, and E, you now have the ability to send those particular grouped buses to the master. So we have the little M underneath the A, B, and C, or A, B, and E as I have here. And so I've got the ability now to send that to the master. So if people want to group a bunch of audio inputs, and then they want to control the audio or plugins from
What did we do?
All right, we're back.
There we go.
Yeah, so if you want to group something and then actually control all of the audio inputs, so say you had microphones on a field or something like that, and you wanted to control the audio and plugins for that particular group of audio inputs, microphones, etc., you could do that, and then you could then forward that through to the master audio that we have down there. So that is what Tom is referring to when he's talking about the master, the ability to group inputs as a bus and then send it to the master. So I'm not sure what he's doing now. Do you want to send me back to the main camera?
Yeah, the camera died.
The camera died. Oh, cool. It's always good. We can. I can show you some other stuff. So we have some other things here. We have a new mix effect. So Martin pointed this out on the show last night. But down here in the tiny little add input menu, next to it, we have the small menu, and then we have the mix function here. So if I select this, it now gives me the ability to create like a sub mix of 2 inputs. So I'm able to transition those as a part of a multi-view or potentially as a part of a overlay channel or something like that. So I'm going to select, let's take this mountain video here and this koala video here. And so now I've got this submix of these 2 separate inputs, and then I can choose to, I don't know what overlay channels I've got. So let's have a quick look here. Maybe overlay channel 3. Yep, that's a picture in picture. So I'm just going to put this mix here up into the section here, and then I can choose to transition between the 2 elements that are in my mix. So I can choose to cut, which is that button up top, and then we have all of the different transitions that are available. So let's do a wipe between them. So then I'll be able to use a submix from the main mix and be able to produce things in that way with that. So that's a quick example of a couple of the features that we At some point, we'll get audio back. I mentioned before that this was a professional stream. Hello. It's been picked up. Hello. I think that's it. I think we might have audio back. So everybody's dancing along to the music. Apparently there's quite a beat going on. So I'm being told that it's a vMix beatbox. So that's pretty exciting. So the main camera that we had died for some reason. It's not a vMix fault, right? No? So we've switched to the second camera and now the audio should be back on. So let's see. So let us know if the audio is back. It should be. And let's see how we go. I look extra white now. Look at that.
It's a different camera.
Need to add a bit of color to my cheeks.
Yeah. Not quite sure what happened to the primary camera.
All right.
But we did happen to have a backup camera right next to it.
Well, lucky.
For some testing that we were doing.
Lucky that we did.
Week.
All right, so we're back. Just double check. Everybody let us know in the
yes.
We're back. All right, cool.
And this actually, it's a coincidence that we're on a beta because losing the camera had nothing to do with the beta. And I'll be happy to explain the machine gun effect to you later on, but
so yes,
never mind.
I don't quite know what that means, but yeah, we didn't. Let's just send this over. Now, this wasn't the beta's fault. That's all I can say.
No, it wasn't.
No.
It was my fault.
What are the chances?
Well, it was the camera's fault. And then it was my fault to switching to a camera that had a open mic attached to it. So there you go.
Good times here at the Streaming Idiots show.
With the emphasis on idiots. That's right.
All right. What's next?
So we took a little sidetrack there. One of the features that was put into vMix 22 was the vMix, oh golly, what's it called? Yeah, my brain just went blank, completely blank. The vMix AVI file format.
Yeah, there's a new media converter.
And so there's a converter now
Yeah.
that Martin has written
Mhm.
that will convert that to a ProRes format.
Yeah.
So that you can use that with DaVinci Resolve, or what's that other one?
Final Cut Pro.
Final Cut Pro.
Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, the problem is with when you create a new codec, it's hard to get implementation into other editing software. It's not just a magical, oh, it now works in everything. It's kind of
Right.
proprietary in a sense, but yeah. So yeah, people that were using Final Cut Pro couldn't use the vMix AVI. You could do it in Handbrake, you convert it, but now there's a media converter in vMix in the hamburger menu if people want to convert the vMix video codec to something that they can use in various other production suites.
There you go.
That's it. That's that.
So there's also something, and I didn't get the titling of it. I didn't understand the titling of it until Tim explained it to me. But in the new GT Title Designer, you've now got the ability to bind together text
Yep.
and graphics, like a box or something like that.
Yep.
And you guys referred to it as bounding.
Bounding, yeah. There's a new bounding submenu in the GT Title Designer.
And all I can see is Winnie the Pooh and Tigger bounding up the hill in the
Yeah.
3
But you know, if you like
woods.
bandage something, you bind something together, two things together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you bind it together with a bind.
Yeah. Same, but different.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't
Exactly.
run everything through the Alabama language translator before we make it a feature. So
Well,
whatever we want
there you
to
go.
whatever we want to call it is what we call it. So yeah, that's it. So
that
yeah,
is true. That
the
is very
ability
true.
to have things like if you type text, we worked out how to do it. I've only used it like once before, and there was some problems with it, so Martin fixed it up. So this morning, Tom wanted me to do a demonstration of it, so it took me a little while to work out how to use it, but I worked it out.
You
So
worked it right out. That's
got
right.
it working. So the cool thing is like say you have you can set the rectangle and text together. So when you type the text, the rectangle gets bigger. So it's fine for static content like static color. So you might have red or blue, and that just gets larger. But it's cooler if you've got a gradient where you set the gradient to say purple, blue, and green. And as you type, that gradient expands. So you kind of have that cool effect of having a gradient text title, no matter how long the person's name is or whatever title you've got there. So that'll be cool. And then you can set padding as well. So you can set padding to the top, left, right, bottom, so that you can inset, similar to how you would program HTML or CSS or something. You create a padding for a div or a certain field. You can do that now in the GT Title Designer for all versions. If you want animated, you need the other ones, but yeah, for all versions, it will work in.
Very cool. Very cool. And I watched Tim do it, and it really was very simple to do once he figured out exactly the steps.
That's the thing.
But it was the thing. That's right. Now, another improvement in vMix 23 that might slip under the radar because people may not understand how big or significant it is, but that now vMix 23 can use Google version 77. Tell us about that and why that's significant.
Yeah, so the web browser input, it's become more and more important. More people are using HTML5 based graphics, whether online or locally. So the rendering of those graphics have become more and more important. People are relying on those specifically. So we've been able to update to .77, which will have some GPU rendering for the web browser input. So that's something that's changed from 62. It's a bit of a jump between versions. It's hard. People want the latest version of the input, but the problem is just reliability. So making sure that a particular feature that vMix heavily relies on, or you out there heavily rely on, isn't depreciated between versions. And so you go to do a show with a new version of a browser, and what you were using doesn't work anymore. So that's why it kind of takes a little while to update, just to keep reliability for the web browser. So that should have better performance for those people that are using graphics and that type of thing with the web browser. So yeah, that's something that was kind of added. So 77 is a really, really, really new version of Chrome. So yeah, that's something to do.
Excellent. Excellent.
Excuse me.
And that's one of the things that, even if vMix...
I don't have a cough button, but yeah.
I've got one right here. Would you like
I'm
to borrow
right.
it?
I'm right.
Okay.
Thanks.
I could use it, but I don't think it's just a Tim cough button. I think it's a dual cough button.
Yep.
But one of the things that impresses me about vMix and about Tim and Martin is that they really do care about folks that have been using, people that are just beginning to use vMix, but also people that have been using vMix for a while. And you think about it, if you bought vMix 5 years ago, you made your major purchase back then. Well, maybe you've upgraded to 4K or Pro or something like that, but you paid for this way back when. And these guys are continuing to develop this software and at the same time pay attention to kind of legacy things that are in vMix. So they're not going to break something that used to work in the past in order to make it work with something fresh and new in the future. They're going to make a way where both of them can happen at the same time. And I can think of a lot of examples of that, but I'm not going to share any of them here because I really can't think of them right this moment. But I have recently. And that was a conversation that I had with some folks last week about vMix really respecting the legacy of how vMix has come through the pike and not made a major change. For example, one of the things that came out yesterday was if you go to add input and you go to that input list is in sort of a random order. It's not alphabetical because the very first thing that shows up on that input list is videos. Well, that should be down under the V's. But this has kind of been a symbol for me of the fact that Martin knows that his users are used to seeing that list in a certain format. And if he arbitrarily went through and suddenly alphabetized it or put the more important ones at the top and the less important ones, or the more frequently used ones at the top and the less frequently used ones at the bottom, everybody that had been using vMix since way back when would be thrown off. Now, while in some ways that may make it a little easier for a new person to use vMix, it's going to really make it much more difficult for folks that have been using vMix for years to all of a sudden have this new thing that has been put in there that has really no benefit for them. So that's one of those things that just really impressed me. Is it an improvement? It might be an improvement for somebody that's just learning vMix, but it's not an improvement for everybody else that already knows how to use vMix in that way. So I do appreciate that respect for the way things have been, kind of a traditional approach.
There's so many legacy things that we wish we could just ditch.
Sure,
but it's you slightly change something and you receive a handful of emails from someone that's like, hey, what did you do? My thing doesn't work anymore. And you think it's some tiny change that wouldn't make a difference, but it always makes a difference. Yeah. So it's and people are like, why are things the way they are? You should just change it. And it's like it's a very delicate balance when you create software. Is you change one thing here and it might wreck something here, or someone's production stops working because you've made a slight tweak to something. So it's it's a fun balance, and there's always reasoning behind why we do certain things and why we don't do certain things. So I don't want people out there to think like, they just don't want to do it because they're lazy or they couldn't be bothered, or they're Australians, they don't want to do it because it's an American suggestion, or something like that. It's always everything has to be well thought out and worked around to make sure it's going to work properly.
Well, and while I'm saying nice things about Tim and Martin, I will also say they're extremely attentive to their user base. And again, user base is not generating a lot of high dollar revenue. These are people that are out that have paid for vMix years ago, and thankfully you guys have just re-implemented the update fee. I think that was really smart. So that you can get a little bit of revenue stream in there and pay for some of these things in the future. But the idea is that they're continuing to respect the community and pay attention to the community and be responsive to the needs of the community. And that's where this long list of features in vMix 23, it's kind of a smorgasbord, SRT over here for the more technically oriented, and then GT text bounding over here for those of us that need that type of help. So I continue to be impressed with, and I'm not just saying it because you're here. I say these things all the time.
Sure.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. So we're delighted to have Dan with us. Dan again is on loan. He made the trip back to Amsterdam in 7 different pieces, and has been reassembled here, and will continue to live long and prosper. We don't have any giveaways, do we?
No, I have nothing to give away.
I don't have anything. To
I
give away
got
either.
half a packet of M&Ms if somebody wants them, and that's about it. I don't have any cool things to give away, unfortunately.
I should have just kept my mouth shut.
Or
on
you
that
could
one.
have brought
Sorry
this
about
up prior to the show.
That's right.
Said, hey, maybe
That's
we
right.
should do a giveaway, Tim. That's a great idea, right?
That's
I would have been like, yeah, maybe. But no, just leave it until we,
well, maybe if they went to professionalvlogger.com,
that's right.
they
Yeah.
could find
Could find a thing or two.
They
Yeah.
could find a thing or two.
But
I have an idea.
mhm.
We could do a little trivia contest.
Okay.
And I have in this studio the last remaining NAB New York mousepad,
Are you gonna give it away?
and I will give it
Wow.
away.
You've got that's it. There's no more.
There's no more after
That's,
that.
There's no more.
There's
no.
no more after that.
I have 2 to my name that go home with me to add to my quilt that I'm building of vMix mouse pads.
Oh, what a great idea!
But
A beach blanket. Yeah.
yeah, something. Yeah. So that's the plan. But
Well,
yeah.
I have a piece of trivia. And
So what are you going to give away a mouse pad to someone that gets it right? Where is the mouse pad? You can't just talk about it. Where is it? It's got to be here somewhere.
it's got to be here somewhere.
Again, this is great live streaming. I should have prepared a song. Anybody have any song requests that we can sing, that I can sing, that won't get you copyright struck?
Or not. Yeah.
Any public domain songs that anybody wants me to sing? It's Happy Birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy Birthday is now public domain, so maybe we'll do Happy Birthday. What else? What else is public domain? Are any old Christmas carols public domain?
Probably. Yeah. Like Jingle Bells, maybe.
Oh, maybe. If anybody out there is a copyright
Silent
attorney or a
Night.
lawyer, let us know what we can and can't sing.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a tune. So yeah, this is the mouse pad. You can't really see it. Too much green screen.
Yeah.
Can I switch to the Logitech camera
Sure.
without it breaking? I don't know
Number
whether
6.
I've got access to it.
Number 6.
Oh, there we go. So this is what it looks like. For those who are wondering, this is my Banana Man shirt. It is yellow. It's not see-through like the thing. So this is it. This is the mouse pad here. So you stand to win this mouse pad. It's got the Brooklyn Bridge on it. It's very exciting. So there you go.
So here's the trivia.
Okay.
I've already got the question.
Oh, good. Because I have absolutely nothing to do with this whatsoever.
And we were just talking about this. We were talking about.
Uh-oh. Look at this. That's Kyle Gunderman's music.
Yeah, that's
Uh-oh.
right.
Let's just pack it up.
Kyle the Plunderer.
I think we should
All right.
just pack it up now and just give
All right.
it to Kyle.
But here's the rule.
Okay.
We're seeing the chat from YouTube
Mm-hmm.
and from Facebook, the Eastern Shore Broadcasting page.
Yep.
And the first person to come up with the answer right here that we can see will be the winner.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And in vMix 23, on the Add Input menu, they have added some text.
This is not... okay. I have no idea where you're going with this. So I'm just going to throw up comments. You keep talking.
They have added some text after 2 slashes in one of the names. Can you name the text that was added after the second slash?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So in vMix 23, the Add Input menu, 3 letters have been added after the slash. There it is. Chris got it. That
Oh.
didn't take long.
There you go.
I bet he just guessed.
We're real close.
So Chris, send me your address, Tom at EasternShoreBroadcasting.com, and I will send you
He will spam you with pamphlets for the next 6 years.
my last and only.
That is a promise from Tom.
Yep. And QStream TV got it. Scott got it, but you guys were late. Chris got it. So there we go. So that's coming to you, Chris. Congratulations. So we had a giveaway.
There you go.
It was an appropriate giveaway.
Well done.
Yep.
Well done. So we've covered the whole gamut of live streaming.
We
Camera died. We had random dance music. What else did we have? We had a desktop capture input talking about the new features. We had a giveaway. We got knees here. I mean, it's pretty much covered everything that you'd want to cover in a live stream, right?
It can't get much better than this.
Whoa! You don't want to jinx it. I wouldn't want to jinx it.
Okay.
Close. Good try, Marie.
Well,
Good try.
It's soft.
Do we have gold stars? If we were on the ball, we would have a gold star that we could have said, now here's a gold star for Marie right here.
We have some dum-dums.
Bring. I don't know whether you're allowed to. I don't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm not sure that you're allowed to send a dum-dum to Sweden. It may not get through customs for whatever reason.
Send
if you
them
mark
to
on
IBC,
there,
but you can't send them to Sweden.
like contents of package 1 times dum-dum. Yeah, I'm not sure that it. Not sure that that's how it works.
Oh, Miranda says she came in late. We need to start over.
Well, it might be a good idea. We can do a redo. Streaming Idiots Part 2.
Yeah, we're a little off the rails here today.
Yeah, it's
A little wild.
that's how it is.
A little crazy.
Whoa, look out.
If you're just joining us and you're wondering what the heck is going on.
Richard just dropped the C-bomb on us. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Mm-mm.
It's some sort of Australian-American collusion to
I don't know.
overthrow the streaming industry.
I don't know specifically what the collusion's about, but yeah, it's some sort of collusion.
Well, actually, I think, Richard, I disagree about collusion. I think it's disruption. And that has been, again, while we're talking about things that impress me about these guys, is that they have disrupted the streaming and the broadcasting industry with vMix. Let that one sink in for a while. But if you're just joining us, this is not a typical show. I generally don't have somebody here in the studio live with me. Generally, they're coming in over a wonderful feature called vMix Call, or you're just stuck with me demonstrating something.
Or am I here? Maybe I'm a hologram. I don't feel a thing. No one can see that, so...
Oh, well, here, let me try again, a little higher.
Yeah. So probably not a traditional show for you, but...
No, not a traditional show.
We're kind of doing our best to show off all the things that can and can't go wrong when you do a live stream. So I think, again,
right.
We've covered all of that. So sometimes cameras go down, sometimes audio goes weird. That's just how it is. Sometimes.
And you just have to roll with it, and you hope it's not too bad, and there you go.
Oh, look at this.
Steve says they use vMix at school where he works, and it took 5 minutes to teach 5th graders to use it.
Wow. That's very cool. That's what we had going to the local school here. Mm-hmm. They said that they were surprised at how quick that they picked it up. But, kids are like sponges. You show them how to do something and they understand it better than what adults do. And I don't quite understand that, but that's just how it is.
Well, but it's also, it's intuitive for them. It makes
I guess
sense.
So. They're more used to using computers and that, as opposed to us old fuddy-duddies, using what's a computer? How does this work? What's this thing?
And that is true. Again, part of the beauty of vMix is that it's got enough of a traditional approach with a preview and program windows that folks that are coming from a traditional broadcasting world will feel comfortable about.
Yeah.
And then it's got all these other goodies that the kids just love, like green screens. What was it they were doing yesterday at the school? They had an artifact on the green screen, and they knew what was causing it. They just were having some trouble fixing it. They knew it was a lighting issue on the green screen. Yeah. And here are these 10 and 11-year-olds going around.
We really should have had them down here producing this show. It may have gone a little bit smoother.
It would have gone a lot smoother.
Who's to say?
That's right.
But yeah, it's good fun. See, look at this. All the way from Michigan. No other way to do it. Look at this, you've got your social up here. You
Yeah.
should be doing this every week.
Yep.
Bring it in. You just need somebody to sit here and, chat to all the time.
Well, but with a VPN, somebody could come in, could do it remotely, couldn't they?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
We don't have an SRT demo, unfortunately. Martin at home had one set up for IBC, but we kind of turned it off, I think, perhaps. And I think it's like, 5 a.m. there at the moment. He's probably still up trying to fix bugs from vMix 23. So, yeah.
Yeah, we saw he was up at 3:45 a little while ago. So there you go. Yeah, Kenny, you don't need to feel bad. 5 minutes for a kid is like a lifetime. For us, 5 weeks, 5 months would be a little bit more on pace. There you go.
So the link is the forums.vmix.com. If you head there, you go to General, I think it is, and it's under there. You'll see the vMix 23 preview released is the section that you're looking for.
If somebody had a computer in their lap and could go there and grab that link and put it into the chat as a comment.
Oh, I mean, I could do that, but I could also actually go there.
Well, that's kind of what I was talking about. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Your internet's gonna crash probably.
Bruce, he's gonna get it. He's gonna get it right there.
So if you throw up my desktop capture, if you've got it there.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I can even show people how to get there.
Your desktop capture. That's number 2. There you go.
There we go. So here we are at forums.vmix.com, and if I click on the top one here, general discussion, you will see the vMix 23 preview released, and you'll already notice that there's multiple pages of people bringing in bug reports and various other things.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, that's where you need to go. If you go here, click on it, and then you'll see the download links right here underneath vMix.
What's that in the red letters?
It says, new features should not be submitted here. Please use the feature request forum instead. So that's a good idea to do that. So make sure that you use that. Also, the double disclaimer at the top. This is a preview release. For those who like to live on the edge, there will still be some bugs, so it should not be used in productions. So that's that. So if you want to switch us back.
Well, okay then.
So that's something to keep in mind when doing productions. Don't use the beta version.
Don't use the beta
Because people
version.
blame it, even though it might not be the fault. They'll just blame the beta.
That's right.
That's not what we're doing today.
That beta is a camera killer.
Yeah. It's not.
Yeah, go figure.
Oh, we could have made a QR code and put it on the screen. It's a good idea. We might do that next time.
It's a shame there
Next time I'm here, we'll do that, Jon.
It's a shame there isn't a feature in vMix that would allow us to do that.
Yes. That is a real shame. Anything else you'd like to cover on my show today, Streaming Idiots with Tim?
Well, we don't have any bees around,
No, unfortunately not.
so we can't do that.
There's a lot of butterflies down the main street of Fairhope. All of the planter boxes out with the flowers and stuff. It's lovely. For those that have never been to Fairhope, Alabama, it is a lovely town. The guys from the Fairhope Chamber of Commerce are over here with a...
With a gun.
Yeah. Oh, I would have said that, but that's a possibility down here, I suppose. But they're prodding me, making me say nice things about Fairhope, Alabama. Lovely place.
That's right.
Genuinely is.
Thank you.
Main street,
We like it.
chasing butterflies down the street. It's,
I'm glad you stayed where you stayed.
yeah,
You got the full experience.
it's a nice part of town. So QStream wants to see the mix. So I showed that before. I can show it to you again. You want to flip this over. Basically, what it allows you to do is create a submix in vMix. So like I've added a mix down here. It's in this little menu next to the add input, the mini add input menu. There's a mix section here. So I've added one. As you can see here, I've selected 2 different inputs. So I've got this koala video and I've got this mountain video here. And then I can use this mix as a part of a multi-view layer, as a overlay channel or something like that. So as you can see here, I've got it in overlay channel 3 in the top corner. So then I can go ahead and transition between them, either using the cut, which is going to be the base transition, or I could use any of these additional transitions in vMix. So let's say I want to just like fly. So now I can actually transition between these two inputs here as a part of a submix of the overall mix in vMix. So basically adding transitions for two different effects, two different mixes in vMix, and then adding that as overlays or adding that as multi-view channels and that sort of thing. And it works with alpha as well. So if you check out our video from what's our show called?
The vMix Fun
That's
Time live show.
The vMix Fun Time live show. If you check that out from last night, actually it might have been in the post show.
What was
You've got to watch the post show. So it works with alpha as well. So you could bring in, people and kind of merge them. It works with merge as well. So download the 23 beta and try out all the functions of the mix is what it's called.
Do you know that you are now a guest or co-host as of today of the world's longest continually running live streaming show about live streaming?
Wow. Well, I expected balloons to drop from the ceiling when you said that.
Well,
actually, you have a. Can you?
We might have balloons.
Let's do this and let's see if we fry this whole thing. All right, go that again. Say what you said again.
I said you are now a co-host of the world's longest continually running live streaming show about live streaming.
Incredible. Absolutely fantastic. There you go. So they should have heard audio. We didn't hear it, but the audio will come out, I believe. No balloons, but we did have audio. So
Gotcha.
Thank you so much.
It's all about timing. I did turn that all the way down before, so that's why we didn't hear it.
Yeah, I was double checking, so we
Gotcha. I thought you were going to put balloons.
No. Music.
Okay.
It's fun to be able to control somebody else's production.
It's scary is what it is.
It's good fun.
Yeah. Fun for him, scary for me.
Yeah.
So folks, this is not a typical show. Obviously, Tim and I are having too much fun enjoying each other's company and yours as well. And we would invite you well in advance to come visit with us in Las Vegas in April at the NAB show, the National Association of Broadcasters annual convention and trade show there at the Convention Center in Las Vegas. It's not too soon to make your reservations, your hotel reservations. And I think April 30th, Southwest Airlines is going to open up that week of reservations for folks that want to get out there using Southwest. So definitely go ahead and think about that, because you don't want to miss a chance to see Tim and I live and in person. And we will be there, as they say in Las Vegas, we will be there all week.
And I guess Sunday is technically the start of the week. So we will be there from Sunday. Again, if those that are watching, I'm just throwing this out there, those that want to potentially join us at the vMix World Bowling Championships on the Saturday afternoon, get in early.
Will it be live stream?
Make sure that you be there.
No.
What happens at the bowling alley stays at the bowling alley. Well, actually, that's not entirely true.
Not entirely true.
There was some footage on the most recent professional vlog that I did of IBC, featuring various members of the Streaming Mascots Alliance, Tom, bowling, dancing, high-fiving. So, it's a good time.
It was.
There will definitely be speed bowl. That's just...
Definitely speed bowl.
See, there's a bit of conjecture about exactly what it's called. It's called speed bowl. So I know that's a bit hard for non-English speakers, but speed bowl, as in the actual motion of bowling, it's called speed bowl, not speed ball, which is potentially something else. Speed bowl. So usually we kind of get...
Down here we would call it bowl.
Bowl. All right. So sometimes when you go bowling, you were there, you get time for 2 games, and then it's like, we've got 15 minutes to do a third game, and so then speed bowl comes out, and you just fire those bowling balls down the alley, and you just see what happens.
It was amazing.
So we invite people every year, but I don't know what it is, but people just turn us down. They reject us. So thankfully we have the lovely Maggie G will always be there, Dan Slider. Miranda's yet to show up. So we're waiting for.
Well, I think that's because sometimes she's on the professional bowling tour at those
That
points.
is very true. Yeah. So you got to watch out for those X keys. Each year they bring someone that's like a ringer, and I swear they bring them just for the bowling, and yeah, they turn up and they beat us all. So
Yep.
yeah. So that's that. So you can. It's an interesting question. Sorry, Tom's got a big TV screen here with all sorts of stuff, like multi-view happening with the chat and all that kind of thing. So if Tom ever looks distracted, it's because he's looking at that. But he's more professional than I am, so he knows to look at the camera, whereas I'm too busy looking at all these ridiculous things.
That's because I put the camera as close to the TV as possible.
Yeah.
So that it appears that I'm making contact with you at home when really I'm reading comments above.
Kenny's a regular at NAB. Where's Kenny?
Kenny's one of the hosts of the Streaming Idiots Meetup live stream.
Right. Think from Indiana?
Greenville College. Greenville University.
In Indiana?
Could be.
I think I always get this wrong. I don't know.
In 30 seconds, we'll know.
I'm sure he can correct us. I don't know why it's pronounced Las Vegas instead of Vegas, like beta and beta versus Vegas and Vegas. I have no idea. There are many things about the Australian way to speak that none of it makes sense, but it's just how it is.
And you even rewrite words to make them spell like the way you pronounce them.
Yes. We won't get into the etymology of various precious metals or metals around here, but yeah, unfortunately,
Illinois
started with an I. I was so close,
and you were close geographically too.
Yeah, I guess so. So there you go. But yeah, this is Viva Las Vegas. I like the sounds of that.
There you go.
We should start. Tommy's got to go. See you later, Tommy.
Bye, Tommy.
It was nice to be in your general vicinity for a little while. Hope you're doing all right. Enjoy the rest of your day.
We would be remiss if we didn't at least make reference to vMix 24.
Sure.
Because the question has popped up a couple of times already.
Oh, okay.
About instant replay.
Yeah, so the plan is to have vMix 24 to have an update of the replay. I think we've discussed it before, so that's the plan for 24. It's a pretty big project. It's something that's been in the works for a long time, but it's a matter of kind of getting there and actually doing it. Same sort of thing with the vMix call, where everybody's like, oh, you need to do this, but perhaps the technology's not quite there yet. Computers now are insanely great. Like the I wasn't going to say anything, but that look that you gave me, it's like... Anyway, the latest generations, I'm not talking about like a 2700K or something like that, but, these new generation processors are pretty impressive what you can do. So being able to record so much video and play it back in real time and doing all this stuff has kind of changed over the last few years. So, yeah.
But the opportunity exists if you are a vMix Replay user and you'd like to have some input into the changes that go in there. That's what the feature request section of the vMix forum is all about. And so again, you want to do a search on whatever it is your idea is, because somebody may have already suggested it and you want to add your approval to it. And as Tim is the gatekeeper of the feature requests, I'm sure he's got a large section that has to do with instant replay.
There is a long list.
And they may have missed one thing that will just really, really make it go like gangbusters.
Yep.
So don't be shy.
Get on there and do what you need to do. We would be remiss without bringing this up also. Please.
The meetup. Is there a meetup? Oh, that meetup. Yeah. There's
the name of the show. Like where I don't know where I am.
There is the fourth annual. It might be the longest continually running meetup.
In a Las Vegas-based, broadcasting convention for live streaming.
That's true.
I really missed the timing on that one.
There we go. We got it.
Yeah.
So yes, this will be the 4th annual Streaming Idiots meetup at NAB. It will probably not be on the floor of NAB. Having paid $77 a pound for mixed nuts at that party last year, we won't do it on the floor again. We'll do it in the parking lot of the convention center before we'll do it on the floor.
Two in the parking lot of the In-N-Out Burger across the road from your hotel.
Oh, that would be really good.
Yeah.
We could get them to cater it, and then everybody would pay their own way.
Yeah,
that would be
one way of
better.
going.
But yes, we're searching for a site, and it will be probably on Monday night, the Monday of NAB. So that will be the Monday of the second. Excuse me, the evening of the second day in NAB will be the Streaming Idiots meetup. We'll make sure you have plenty of advance notice. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll probably go 7 to 9, something like that. We hope to have a live stream with interviews of significant folks, and maybe even a PA system so that the people there at the meetup can hear the interviews. I know it's cutting edge technology, but
bringing this thing into like 1998.
Yeah, full speed ahead. Marie is not invited.
She's just been banned.
Marie has been
because
banned.
of that. That's the thing. You move justly and you move swiftly. You know, if someone on the show is saying these things, it's like that's it.
Yep.
Marie is off the list.
She is off the list. Jan is still on the list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
Marie's quite small. What happens if there's like a trench coat and she hides and John smuggles her in? I mean, I wouldn't put it past her. That's all I'm saying.
If they go to all that trouble, then she's
there. You go, guys.
In.
There you go. I've given you the plan of attack in order to get into the Streaming Idiots meetup. Are they coming? Are they going to come out to Las Vegas?
There's rumors.
Oh, okay.
There's rumors.
Cool.
Yep.
Exciting.
It's a long trip.
Really? I have no idea what you're talking about.
I saw on the news the other day there's a 19-hour flight now.
Yeah, I was looking at it last night. We got an email from Air New Zealand. Yeah, so Qantas just did a test flight from Sydney to New York, which was, I think, might have been the flight that you've seen, like 19 or 20 hours.
Yeah.
And Air New Zealand are looking to they've announced flights from Auckland to New York, and Qantas have a Brisbane to New York flight. It's in the works. So, yeah. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could sit in the same seat for 20 hours. It's just, I don't think I could do it.
We went from Atlanta to Seoul, Korea, and that was 14 and a half hours.
Oh, really?
And then another 5 hours on top of that to Bangkok.
Ah, right.
So that's 19 and a half hours. I can't imagine doing all of that in one jet continually.
Yeah. It's that way up between whether you want to do all of it at once, get it over and done with.
Yeah.
Or whether you want to go 14, have a bit of a break, and then, go that 5.
The break.
Well, I agree.
The break.
All right. There's nothing like, you take off and that takes a few hours, and then, you prepare for landing. And so it's kind of not really 14 hours. There's stuff happening. You get a bit of turbulence. It's a little bit exciting.
Yeah.
But then when you
You get some good movies.
That's right, yeah. That's the only time I watch movies is on the plane.
Yep.
And so you 20 hours is just too much. Sorry, for those that have just started watching, you've stumbled across Talking Planes with Tim and Tom.
The Travel Channel.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, I did make the trip to Amsterdam at 8.5 hours seem like a breeze, though. That was really good.
Yeah.
Jim Moline's here. Hey, Jim. Jim has a message for Tim. Thanks for the feature upgrade that added a tick box to include or exclude source audio in the audio mixer area. There you go.
No worries. I was getting sick of that too.
And even though I increased the font size of that, that comment just fit.
It should automatically shrink.
Oh, well, that's why it looks like it just fit. Yeah. Is that new feature? No. So what feature is that?
It's just the ability to
shrink to fit.
Yeah.
I have some clothes like that. Okay. So moving right along. Yeah, we're delighted you guys are here. QStream says 15 to 20 hours from Denmark to Las Vegas. Ooh.
Yeah, it's a hike. It's kind of strange. I think Denmark and Australia are like complete opposites of
Polar opposites.
Yeah. So when we were testing out vMix Core, we called up Jens, who's in Copenhagen.
Yes.
To do a test, and we're like, well, if this works, we know that it should work if we try and go down the road. So yeah, Denmark to Las Vegas and Australia to Las Vegas is kind of like in the middle-ish, kind of. I think they have to travel a little bit further than what we do. Now if somebody's watching now, they're just watching me do this. But yeah, kind of in the middle, I think. So yeah.
There you go. So if somebody has an idea for a new feature in vMix, they should definitely put it in the chat here at Streaming Idiots, because it's going to go right to the top of the list.
That's right. Absolutely. So QStream TV, add your request to the feature request forum, vmix.com.
That's right.
And I'm sure there's one for instant replay with 1 billion pages on various different instant replay things. So add it in there.
That's going to be a mammoth project.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Yep.
Yeah, because everybody wants more cameras and high quality and that kind of thing. It's just a logistical nightmare, really, when you think about it.
So
we
probably ought to close out the show and go to post-show and take questions.
Sure. How SRT works on vMix?
Now, that's a great question.
That's a good question.
We'll catch that one in post-show. Is that all right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, very good. Because as you know, when this goes to YouTube, you get the pre-show, you get the show, and you get the post-show all in one package. So even though you may have missed part of the pre-show or part of the post-show or part of the show itself, you can get all of it on YouTube. You can get all of it on Facebook. You can get all of it on the Streaming Idiots page on Facebook and the Eastern Shore Broadcasting.
You might even say
Facebook.
too many places.
And no, I probably wouldn't say that. Okay. I wouldn't say that. But you get the pre-show and the post-show. The pre-show and the post-show.
Why do these people do these shows where they cut out the pre-show and the post-show to put it on YouTube? I just don't get it.
And they just do a show.
Yeah, I just don't get it.
Yeah. Okay. I think you got it. All right, so there we go.
Thanks for watching. This has been Streaming Idiots with Tom Sinclair and me.
And we'll be back next week. Well, I'll be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Stick around for the post show.
And a big thanks to Michael Dawson.
Okay, we're in the post show now. So there you go. Boy,
well done.
All of my shortcuts, I think, got scrambled somehow.
No.
Well,
you do that every week.
I don't do that every week. Well, maybe I did do that last
See you later. Thanks for tuning in.
So, Rich wants to know, how do you spell SRT?
Yeah. That's
Rich, if you have to ask, you don't need it.
S for, what's the correct? The S is for.
See ya.
No, it's not the phonetic dictionary, but it's the, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo. What is S? I should know this. Anyway, someone in the chat will tell us what the proper language is. Now I'm rambling. I'm going to stop now. John wants an easier to use feature request page. Ooh, that's a tough one. That's a bit recursive for me. So yeah, I heard you like feature request pages, so you need to add a feature request to the feature request page to get a new feature request page. Yeah.
What he said.
So with SRT in vMix, you'll be able to input and output SRT. So you'll be able to bring it in, you'll be able to send it out. So if you've got vMix to vMix, you'll be able to send out a secure, reliable point-to-point video transmission from vMix to vMix using the public internet. So instead of having to go via a server or via some protocol you'll be able to go directly from vMix to vMix, provided that you have internet on both ends and provided that you have like the open ports and things that you might need to be sending and receiving video. So that's how it will work in vMix. There's a stream in the stream section now, you stream/SRT, and then you'll be able to be a caller or a listener or use the rendezvous mode and connect up via SRT. So,
But if I've been using satellite, or maybe I've been paying for a guaranteed connection, with SRT, I might be able to drop some of that because I'm going to have a secure, reliable transport now.
Yeah,
it's going to do it over public internet. Even if the public internet might be a little sketchy, I've got that fixed latency that's going to allow for correction of any problems along the way. It's going to be cool, folks. By the way, it's Sierra.
Yeah, we're getting everybody.
You got that.
Yeah, cool. We're getting everybody piping in to let us know. So that's how it will work. I mean, it might replace some things, but it might not replace other things. So it will just depend on how...
sorry.
Just killed my...
Yeah.
It's all right.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Too many cooks, exactly. So that's what it will do. It might replace some things for some people, but it might not. We've just added it. We've had a lot of people request it. It's something that isn't a magic resolution for everybody. Like, it's not going to solve all of your personal problems or anything like that, but it might be something that you can use.
I think once you get it out there, people are going to say, you know what, that's a solution not to a problem that I already have, but it's going to allow me to do something I couldn't do before. And now I can have 5 remote cameras coming in, each one with the same exact latency, as opposed to whatever crazy combination of latency I got before. So that you can sit in your air-conditioned hotel room and switch the entire football game half a world away.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, there's a lot of different things. Again, it's one of these things because it's fairly new. See how people will use it, and there are different options for doing this. Like, there are different kind of competing type standards for this sort of point-to-point transmission. But this is something that's become more relevant recently. So yeah, something that we thought we'd add.
I think you guys ought to do an SRT summit.
I think there already is.
Really?
Like, there was one at IBC and
really
different things. So
well, let me rephrase that then. I think you guys ought to do a vMix SRT summit.
I don't want to get into the ins and outs of,
but a virtual summit, a live stream
right.
summit.
Okay. Well, when we actually work out how to use it, then maybe. Yeah. There's an SRT alliance.
Right.
Similar to the Streaming Mascots Alliance, there's an SRT alliance
But different.
of organizations that have SRT support in their products or potential support in their products. So we're a part of that alliance. When vMix 23 comes out, we'll be a working partner. So a lot of them say, yeah, we love it, we want to implement it, but they're not actually there's another word for it. But there's like Wowser and Haivision that are a part of this alliance, run the alliance. They already have products that are SRT ready. I think that's what they call it. So when vMix 23 comes out, we'll be SRT ready on that list. So,
cool.
And I think we'll be the first software switcher that'll have bidirectional support for it. I mean, we do today. We're the only ones that have it today. So that's pretty cool.
Scott wants to know did he miss the answer?
No, you didn't miss the answer. Sorry, I just haven't had a chance to get to it. So I'm not, super well versed with everything and how you would program how it would work. I would have to assume that you would need a static IP. If you've got a dynamic IP, then I'm just not sure how that would maintain a stable connection if IP gets changed while you're using it. I really don't know a great deal about networking. At the office, like for our connection, we will typically set up a DNS record because we've got a dedicated IP that we can use locally. So we'll set up, srt.professionalvlogger.com and then forward that to a particular IP address that we use in the office. Not a local IP, not like a 192, but an actual IP address that we can use, we can assign, and then we'll go ahead and send our SRT traffic that way. So that was probably more confusing than not. But yeah, usually I'm going to say it probably has to be static IP, but I can't be 100% sure. But yeah, as John said, you might need dynamic DNS as well. So anyway.
Okay.
Maybe that answers the question. So again, I'm not quite sure.
We will know more as we play with this and test the questions. Can you use a randomly assigned IP address?
Well, Chris is working on his own mascot, so it'd be great to be a part of the Streaming Mascots Alliance. He asked him another question. So
it was about vMix Call, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of different technologies for different needs. Yeah. So I would say no. It's different sort of thing.
Well, and vMix Call wants to have the least amount of latency possible.
That's right, yeah.
And so as a result, it's going to be a little dynamic.
Yeah.
So, whereas secure, reliable transport is going to be exactly the opposite. They want to have a fixed amount of latency that never ever changes, and so it's going to be overestimated in order to make sure that's guaranteed. So if you added more latency to vMix Call, it would not improve the product.
Yeah, and it's I mean, obviously, I can't sit here and explain all the intricate differences between them, but vMix Call, uses an adaptive sort of bit rate depending on what their internet connection is, as opposed to SRT, which is setting the latency. So you've got a guaranteed, latency coming through, and it's a different encoding and different video formats and that type of thing that you're going to be using with a video calling program, as opposed to using H.264 or HEVC for SRT broadcast. So I think the big networks and stuff are using SRT for different things. So it's using a really high bit rate video from point to point. So yeah, it's kind of a completely different sort of need, whereas the calling is quickest, quality is not that important, whereas SRT is high quality but set latency. So hopefully that made some kind of sense. If not, send us an email, Tom at streaming, easternshorebroadcasting.com.
Yeah. And yes, vMix Call does use WebRTC, which is one of the reasons why vMix Call was delayed in coming out years, because the WebRTC was not mature enough to support the functions that we needed, or that vMix needed in vMix Call. Yeah.
So yeah. But again, don't take my word on everything. I haven't had much sleep lately, and I'm running off half a packet of M&Ms. So if anything I say that's incorrect today, I do apologize. Please send us an email, Tom at easternshorebroadcasting.com, and we'll give you the correct answer as soon as we can.
Okay.
So yeah, we used vMix Call for the show yesterday. So surprisingly, I haven't gone back and rewatched the YouTube video of it, but it seemed fine. I was calling from the hotel. It was about 6 or 7 megabit up and down, and was surprisingly stable. Had no problems sending and receiving the video, which is good.
You and Martin didn't have a lot of back and forth, though.
Yeah, that's
where the latency shows up if it's gonna be there.
Like I said on the video, at one point I interjected, and because there is quite a long distance between here and Australia, you get that latency, and it's just too hard to manage. So the idea is to do your introduction and then start talking. Like after you've got that introduction, the other person starts talking, then they go on a long spiel, and then you might do a bit of back and forth at the end, and then you kind of leave it. So if anybody wants to, look into any of that, just watch, the NFL or any sort of sporting program, even the news where they throw to a remote guest. There's very little interaction between them. It's always like, now here's Tom with the report on this wide receiver, and so they go into it and they cut straight to them. Half the time you'd think it was recorded, but a lot of it's still live.
But if you notice on the news, when they have somebody halfway around the world, that's when you're getting that half a second of latency.
Mm.
When the person on the other end doesn't know, was that the word that I was supposed to start talking at?
I always find it interesting. Like, not that we're not doing a professional show today, and we don't do professional shows at home, but it's always interesting to look at the intricacies of when exactly they switch the camera. Like, they leave, if you switch the camera a little bit after they've thrown that leading question, and then by the time they switch or they do the transition, that person's ready to start talking. So they've eaten up some of that latency. It's still there via the transition or via a stinger or something like that. So it's always really interesting to see how they try and spoof it being real time. It's always, no one probably cares about that, but that's one of the things that I look at.
I mean, the latency in this conversation is practically nil.
I know. You wouldn't believe that it was a hologram on the other side of the world.
Amazing. Okay. What else we got?
I think that's about it. We've been waffling on for nearly an hour and a half.
I know. And not a stroopwafel in sight.
Oh, they actually have them at the running store in downtown.
Oh, really?
They have there's like a lot of different products you can use for when you do marathon running and cycling and that type of thing.
And stroopwafels are one of the
products? Yeah, it's one of the things. So you can get gels, so like a liquid gel. You can get like chewable things like lollies, and then you can actually get stroopwafel. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
You got to come over by the house. We've got some.
Do you?
Yeah.
Nice. That'll be good. So yes, the banana is the mascot for vMix. This guy. I just happened to be wearing a Banana Man shirt today because it was a show. Banana Man is an English show that was popular when I was a kid. Cartoon show called Banana Man. If Martin Steed's watching this on replay for whatever reason, he knows what I'm talking about. Well, there you go. Someone's done the research. Look at that.
Well, there you go. And, around here in the winter, we have a lot of static, so maybe my IP will be okay.
Yeah, so I'm not sure again, I'm not an expert on SRT, so I guess we'll have more information come out when more people dig into it and tell us what the deal is,
That's
hopefully.
Right. It's a tool.
Stroopwafel. That's how you say it.
Stroop,
like stroopwafel.
Stroopwafel.
I think that's how you say it. Petra was trying to teach me. So I was
I've
going around saying I am a stroopwafel. So I think it's Ik ben ein stroopwafel. I think that's I am a stroopwafel in Dutch.
Huh. Can't imagine any situation where I would need to know that.
No, but so Chris has vMix underwear.
Oh, it's
Otis.
Definitely time to end
Tom
this
did not
show.
cook me dinner, so I'm still waiting on that.
But
I'm actually passing through Houston, but only as a quick few-hour layover from Houston, Alabama to Houston, and then I fly out from Houston to Auckland. So unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time in Houston, but I think Otis is from Houston, isn't he? Yeah. Could have cooked me barbecue or something, but I won't pressure you into that. So
we'll have barbecue tonight.
Yeah.
Well, folks, thanks for tuning in and spending part of your afternoon or evening or morning with us. It's a really treat. If you're watching us on replay, then we thank you for doing that as well. If you have any comments, you can leave them in the comment section below, or you can write your criticism of this show to criticisms@vmix.com.
That's it. Those are forwarded to Tom at easternshorebroadcasting.com.
Sure are. But it's been good fun to have Tim here, and good fun to have you with us here too. We appreciate that. Appreciate the community.
I got to take a video of me being on the show.
We would have to do that. We can't close out the show without doing that. Holy cow. This would be for professionalvloggers.com.
No, plural, just professionalvlogger.com. There's only one of me.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
not a plurality.
No,
Professionalvlogger.com. Okay, there we go.
that's it.
Got it. All right, folks. Well, we're going to let the stream run out for a little bit so you don't get cut off right away. But if you have any questions that either one of us can help with, you know how to reach us. And any final words?
Thanks for watching. And
There you go.
yeah, if you want to try out the vMix 23 beta, it's on our forums. If you have any problems or bugs, chuck them in that. If you have any feature requests, put them in the feature request forums. And don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, vMix HD, Facebook, same, Instagram, Twitter, all of that. Or not. Doesn't really bother me. It's perfectly fine.
There you go. Bye, guys.
See you later.